awaken. Alright. So I got some stuff to talk about today. Particularly, wake the fuck up. Realize that the world around you isn't the same as the perceptions inside you. And what you choose to see or be aware of, what you know, might not be the limits of what is. A lot of people are asleep right now. You don't think you are because you're within shot of my sound. You can hear my voice. But you're asleep. You're completely unaware to the programming and manipulation that is going over you. If I wanted to harm you, obscure in my words, little suggestions here and there, it would be happening. Wake up to this possibility that you're being manipulated by all of your favorite forms of media, by the news, echoed from newscaster to newscaster, station to station. True shit, do a YouTube search. You'll find compilations where it's literally copied and pasted. All these different people saying exactly the same shit and calling themselves reporters. Yeah? No. There's a lot of stuff out there people take for granted. A lot of movies and media and stuff where we use the same arts to try to wake people up from that sleepwalking state. From being unaware, from laughing it all away and just being happy so they can fucking ignore the fact that they're really unhappy while they continue to need pills and antidepressants and caffeine and drugs and fucking all these toys to bring them artificial happiness. I want you to really take a good look at your life, because this isn't how it has to be, and just for a moment accept that possibility. Movies and occultism, well, I view nothing particularly wrong with having spiritual beliefs or using these arts. Prayer, spell, and magic have always been synonyms to me. And however you translate that, or if you judge me, then you're just less enlightened. For if I do these things and don't judge you, then surely there's something wrong with your beliefs, or lack thereof. But we face these symbols. We see these all the time. You see the cross, you see the pentagram, you see so much. You look at shows like Supernatural and X-Files, and mysticism is everywhere. Symbolism is everywhere now. On a psychological level, on a physical level, all spiritual knowledge and bullshit and mystic words aside, these are called anchors. And by the fact that you've seen this symbol one or multiple times before, we can manipulate you, because your brain, your subconscious, where it holds all of the memory of what you're not thinking about right now, that's where the magic happens. And it remembers where it saw that symbol, what was around it, what emotions were going on, what it experienced through its 5 senses at the time that it saw this fucking symbol. So you see these crosses and you got these ideas on what you think vampirism is and on what protection is and this and that. And for some people they work because they've already been taught this is what this means. But these things are also being used against you to manipulate you. Every color that you see, movies are color-coded. Can you believe that? To suggest to you a state of mind. To suggest to you what you should be feeling, what you should be thinking, and how you are to interpret the information. And not only that, you have brain waves, that is frequencies, low and high rhythms that are either inaudible to the human ear, that are just beyond the range of hearing, or that blend so seamlessly with the music and with the ambient noise that you're hearing. What used to be a theremin back in the day, you know, now there's much more than that, and it's not just some simple tool. Now we know with the EKG, electrocardiographic, excuse my stutter, invented by Hans Berger. That's a real name, look it up, Hans Berger. In fact, the alpha wave in the brain was also called Berger's wave, because he was the first to really work and discover and implement this technology to the element that we know it now. Now, what if everything that you know, remember these psychological anchors, what if it's actually true that the human brain's natural response is to say yes, that's why people get conned and manipulated? What if it's natural for the human to want to belong, for it to want to conform to its surroundings and be a bigger whole? Nature does it with nature. Certain plants grow better with other certain plants nearby. They produce a symbiotic relationship. Now what if you're taking in all of this information, whether you argue with it or not? I'll give you an example. Every time you see the color red, you will think of me. You remember me talking to you in this video. Do you know why you will think that and you will remember it? Because your mind has to remember to ignore it. And in order to do that, you have to say, every time I see the color red, I will not think of this person, and had to think of me to make it happen. So you have all of this symbolism, all of these brainwaves, all these things, color-coded films to suggest to you how you are to think and how to feel. How can you really beat this process? Becoming aware of it, knowing it's there, tuning into it to say, I'm tuning out. Protect yourself from the classic fucking media, find your own news, do your own research, and don't listen to the same old tunes. Really listen to your senses. You've always looked to someone else to find the answers for you. A wise man, a pope, a preacher, a doctor, a shrink. And you have the infinite power and potential of the entire cosmos and universe within your soul. You could do anything you set your mind to. If you want to be manipulated and you want to ask other people that you don't even know to trust, I mean, hey, if Jesus is your dude, go with that. But as far as physical human beings are here, nobody should really be able to speak to you and know better than your connection with whatever it is that you believe in. Or don't. But it is utterly foolish to give away all your decisions and emotions to other people and let them decide what's right or wrong, what's balanced, what's good, and what's evil. Now that you're kind of aware of this process, you can use the same technology to help and to express yourself and to manipulate as well in a positive manner and manipulate yourself. You can use certain colors. For example, you may have noticed in hospitals they use a lot of white and a lot of light sky like blues. You know, little sky like blue. And that's because we project, we interpret this as a very peaceful thing. Since we were little, we looked up at the sky, and before they started spraying all the chemtrails and poisons to harm us even further, it was a beautiful light thing. It was something normal, it was something peaceful. It didn't have a bunch of abstract colors like your supermarkets do to overload your senses. Now you have color and everything everywhere exploding, overstimulating the mind. Now, if you don't know, one of the ways that you can be manipulated and lulled into a semi-state of hypnosis, whether you know it or not, is by, there's two ways to achieve trance. Sensory deprivation, that's too little of everything, you know, not being able to see, not being able to hear. You can look, I forget the name of the movie, Altered States, where there were the tanks, the think tanks or whatever, where they would have goggles on, they can't see shit, they would have earplugs in, they can't hear anything, they would be submerged underwater to where they can't really feel anything, to lose that sensation of feeling, and they would breathe oxygen through a tube so they can't smell anything, everything completely pure, and removing all those senses. And a lot of people had spiritual awakenings this way. They figured if you took away all the human senses, there would only be one sense left, the true sense, the sense of the spirit, the sense of God, and that awareness. And a lot of people actually had surprisingly similar results with that. Now, the other way to achieve trance, or whether other people are doing it to you to bend you, or whether you're doing it on purpose to achieve some result, is overstimulating all of those things. And you can see this in your grocery stores and supermarkets where there's color everywhere and you just feel like you're in a whole different world. As soon as you walk in, it's just totally fucking different. If you really listen to how you feel, not how you think, you'll be like, wow, what the hell just happened? You know, why did that happen? Now, you can use all this stuff to your advantage, obviously. You can use lighter colors, you can dress certain ways, and your body picks up on that frequency, because everything is a wave or a frequency, and it understands that. And like the EKG, if you don't know this as well, excuse me, you can meditate on, or just simply listen or play in the background, the same frequency waves that your brain would go through when it's excited, or when it's sad, or when it's happy, when it's alert, when it's sleepy, and your brain wants to conform to that. And similar to what I've just expressed to you. And over time, over so many minutes, and it doesn't take very long, it says, okay, I'm in beta, I'm focused right now, I want to come down to alpha and relax, I want to come down a little bit more to theta, suggestible, dreamy, and lucid, and I want to have an experience. Now, that suggestible state is very programmable. You can use these same waves and these same patterns and these same technologies to better your life. But hopefully now, with just this little bit of information, because it would take 10 videos to tell you all I know that could really better you, and perhaps I'll return to it when I receive some questions and comments below. But perhaps now you can try to take care of yourself, and you can know that there are things out there. There are visual manipulations, there are auditorial manipulations, there is a lot that goes behind the scenes that you don't want to pay attention to, because you want life to be comfortable and real life is scary, and you spent your whole fucking life hiding from it wearing a mask. It's time to come out of that. It's time to really realize there are weapons being used against you. Take back control of your life. Leave any ideas or questions. If you think I missed something, drop it down below. Leave a comment or a video response.